here is the space with which I have to. Reason why I use a double pulley system. I've got it set up like a French cleat up here, the same way as it's going to be drawn in reality. Things. I set this section aside right here as my space to do a tillering tree, so that I can do it indoors. And the whole idea here is that I can continue working in relative comfort during inclement weather and over the winter time. Here's just another view of the space that I'm looking to work in. I'm going to want the bow to sit at about eye level, so right here. And I'll have my terminal piece of the tillering tree right here. Along with this piece right here is probably the most foundational piece of the tillering tree, because it is going to be bridging the base. So it's going to have, you know, a wall stud on one side and wall stud on the other side, and then my double pulley system, for the way I like to set up my tillering trees, attached then to this board. So this is the one that could, you know, rip off the wall if that's what's going to happen. The attachment of the actual post of the tillering tree is not all of that. I don't want to say it's not important. It's just not going to be so tough to make it sturdy. So I'm going to put a T-bar across the top, and this will be joined in here, and then it, again, attached to the wall studs, because the tillering tree is between studs. Believe it or not, I just have this sitting around the house or in the garage. It was for some other purpose, and obviously I didn't use it for the purpose intended. So what's going to happen is I'm going to use it to attach my dual pulley system at the base of the tree. These are old, I want to say, like hand railing pieces that would hold like the armature that comes out to hold the railing on the wall. So these were just kicking around the house, or shop rather. I'm really bad about throwing away stuff like this, and this is exactly why. Because I'm going to rabbet out a slot here that this will then set down in that slot, and what it will do is keep my pulley from turning on me. Here, I went ahead and marked everything off, and have peg holes here, so that when you want to peg a bow and get a good look without trying to maintain pressure the whole time, you can do that. All right, so to give an example here, let's say we wanted to get down here and see how this bow looks at this draw length. And this way we can relax the rope and be able to really take a good look. If we're using a tillering gizmo or something along those lines, this would help prevent, you know, having one side pulled further while trying to do another side, right? So that's what this peg is here for. And I've got it pegged out to like 24 inches and could do more if I wanted to. And just a string keeper here. Again, I got the cradle itself such that I can swap them here. So what we're going to do now is get the double pulley system working with this particular tillering tree. I'm going to show you how I make that happen. Now, I am using all different types of equipment now. So here is a hanging scale that I picked up on Amazon, and then a special pulley system that I picked up on Amazon, and it has an additional section down here for you know, a third line to come up. So it's important to get the right pulley system when you're putting this together. Now guys, I've got all these items in a link below, and you can find exactly what I'm using here. Lastly, 3/8 inch diameter rope. All right, so these are going to be the components with which to get the double pulley system working. And there's a specific reason why I use a double pulley system, and that is so that I can focus on the tiller of my bow. I can focus on how far down the tree I'm going. I can read the weight, but I can do it without having to, you know, pull that full amount of weight when I'm looking at it. It makes it easier. It makes it easier to actually perform the function, right? So after a lot of working out on a bow, you know, you're actually doing a lot of working out on your arms and can get physically tired from that and still need to shoot it, right? But more so than that, it's a psychological thing for me. That when I'm pulling and I start pulling into those heavy weights and I start getting tentative about what I'm doing, like I feel like everything's under too much strain, I have to put that out of my brain. And the way I put that out of my brain is making it such that as I'm pulling, I'm really only pulling half of the weight that it is truly registering on my tillering tree. And that just does something for me between my ears, right? That allows me to pull to distances and to weights that ordinarily I wouldn't be comfortable with, but I am, because I'm not actually feeling that physical weight, at least not at the tillering tree. It's different when I'm pulling a bow, right? I expect it to be heavy and I want to feel all of that draw weight, but on the tillering tree itself, it just helps me put that aspect of the tillering process out of my head. All right, so we're going to go through setting up that double pulley system so that you can see exactly how it's put together. All right, here again are the parts that I'm using. So this is the hanging scale. It came with some very large S hooks that were like unreasonably large for what I'm wanting to do. So I got some different hardware to go with this. Something a little smaller and more manageable. This is going to be the hook that hangs on the string, right, as it's pulling. And then I'm going to have the pulley underneath it like this. This particular one has a swivel attachment. is really our whole setup right here. All right, and from this point, I'm just going to hang it on the tillering tree, just like that. So it's just hanging on here. I started by putting a larger hook on, by the way. I mean, if you're noticing that that's a little larger hook than what was originally there, that's because it is a larger hook than was originally there. So what we have now is our hanging scale, a single pulley with a connection on the underside of it, and then down below this double pulley right here. So 2 3/8" pulleys, hence the 3/8" ropes. Okay, here's how we're going to set this up. So we're just going to start at the bottom. I feed it in from the back side to the front here. And from here, this will loop up through our pulley at the top. And then I like to go straight back down the same way that it went in, only to the other side here. So what we've effectively done is created a loop through our pulley at the top and got 2 tag ends coming through the bottom. Now what this is going to result in then is one of which will be the pull end of the string for tillering. The other is going to be the attachment then to the underside of the pulley here to get our doubled back action going on here. It doesn't have to be any more complicated than whatever will hold it. And then put that right in there. And when it's all pulled tight, you can see here how it comes together. Now, so you can see it runs down through the bottom pulley, back up through this pulley here, and on to where we're pulling on it, you know, where we can step back and see the view. And obviously, you need to zero your scale before you ever get started. This is in kilograms. Here's pounds. And get that set a little more toward where it should be. So you can see I got to pull a long distance to get the shorter distance down the way, but you can see everything working in through here, how that performs. All right. There you go. And it just makes everything a lot easier. So where it's pulling to 40 pounds right here, I'm really feeling about 20. Right? And then just to, for grins and giggles here, see if we in fact got the weight on this thing correct. Oh. It's showing 55 pounds. And I'm a little over the mark here. So this is sitting a little higher than what would be a 28" draw because I've got a little bit of a spacer in there for a thinner gripped bow. But nevertheless, that is how this is intended to work. All right, so So just wanted to kind of show you guys how that is set up. All right. I'm not sure if you guys picked up on this when I was testing this out with this particular bow, just in the previous scene or whatever. But when you are testing your draw lengths, right, it's important that you draw your bow the same way as it's going to be drawn in reality, which puts the scale kind of off center here, but I can maintain the cradle position on my bow and move it inside that cleat right there until I'm sitting a little more even with my tillering tree in this regard. Right, so I can take it and I can peg off a spot, and it's pulling, you know, in alignment with how the arrow would be or how you are drawing on this particular bow. So another nice little feature to be able to offset your offset the bow. And then if you want to turn so that you're getting a view of both limbs from each side, now we can do this. Yep. Set it over this direction, and again, be able to get a view of what's going on with this bow from the other side. Right, because sometimes it's a good practice to flip your bow to be able to make readings on there. And this will allow you to do so and still draw the middle of the tree. So guys, thank you for joining me this week. I appreciate your time and attention. And again, if you are interested in any of the equipment here, I'll have a link down in the description of the video. You can link directly over to that. You can also visit my website, meadowlarkag.com, where I'll have not only this, but all of the different build guides that I have available, including a guide for this bow. And of course, all of the different materials and offerings that I have in the shop for you to build your own bow. Truly, guys, that is the intention of this channel, is to really help you build better bows. And guys, thanks for joining me this week, and I will catch up with you next week.